Come back to the empire's legacy, where we uncover the true history of the Ottoman Empire, from its humble roots to its global ascendancy. In our last episode, we followed Osman I, the visionary founder who transformed the Kayu tribe into a rising state by 1299. He conquered towns, united warriors, and lit the first flame of empire. But today, we step into the world of his son, Orhan I, known to history as Orhan Gazi. The man who didn't just inherit a dream, he built it. From the monumental conquest of Bursa to the creation of lasting institutions, Orhan's reign, spanning from 1324 to 1362, marked the transformation of the Ottomans from a wandering frontier force into a structured and enduring state. But who was he? How did he take his father's vision and turn it into reality? And what obstacles stood in his path, in a world teetering on the edge of collapse? Let's separate fact from legend and witness the rise of a fledgling empire. When Osman I died around 1324, the Kayu tribe controlled a modest but growing region in Bithynia, centered on Söğüt, with nearby towns like Bilecik and Yenisehir. The Seljuk Sultanate of Rum was crumbling under Mongol pressure. The Byzantine Empire, fragile, decaying, fractured by internal strife. Its Anatolian frontiers were bleeding. Into this vacuum stepped Orhan I, Osman's son, a man who would soon reshape the map. Over nearly 40 years, he would conquer, he would organize, and he would lay foundations that outlived dynasties. His reign didn't just expand borders, it redefined what it meant to be Ottoman. Orhan I, remembered as Orhan Gazi, is revered in Ottoman tradition, not as a mere warrior, but as an architect, a builder, a father of institutions. Born around 1281, he was likely in his early 40s when he took the reins. Chroniclers like Aşıkpaşazade and Neşri paint him as a wise, deliberate leader, a Ghazi, yes, but also a stabilizer. Yet the truth? Contemporary records are sparse. So we rely on echoes, Ottoman chronicles, Byzantine observations, archaeological whispers. Historians like Halil İnalcık and Colin Imber don't romanticize him. They show us a pragmatic, grounded ruler, a man who blended conquest with governance, tribal fire with statecraft. Our primary sources, they come from chroniclers writing long after his death, like Aşıkpaşazade's Tevarih-i Ali Osman and Neşri's Cihanuma. They were vivid, patriotic, glorifying, but still, buried within their embellishment, is truth. Meanwhile, Byzantine writers, like John Kantakouzenos, mention a Turkish leader rising in Bithynia, a man whose rise caused real panic in Constantinople. And archaeology, early Ottoman coins, mosques, markets in Bursa, they speak silently but powerfully. And together, they help us see Orhan, not just imagine him. In 1324, when Orhan assumed leadership, the Ottomans controlled a small, agile domain in Bithynia, Söğüt, Bilecik, Yenisehir. The Seljuks were shadows of themselves. The Byzantines were imploding from within. It was a moment ripe for change, and Orhan seized it. He didn't just raid, he targeted. He conquered cities, fortified important cities. He raised the Ottoman profile from nomadic to political. His first major conquest, Bursa, a prosperous Byzantine city known for silk and trade, and its location just a stone's throw from the Sea of Marmara. In 1326, after a long siege, Orhan captured it. This wasn't just a victory, it was a declaration. Chroniclers describe how Orhan cut off supplies, negotiated with defenders, and ultimately brought the city into the Ottoman fold. Byzantine sources, they confirm it. Bursa fell, and Constantinople trembled. Orhan made Bursa the Ottoman capital and transformed it. He built mosques like the early Hudavendigar Mosque. He converted churches like Bursa's Hagia Sophia into Islamic institutions. Kids thrived, schools opened. He welcomed Muslims, Christians, Jews, and built a city not of domination but of integration. The silk trade brought wealth, and with it, Orhan funded expansion, infrastructure, and stability. He wasn't just taking cities, he was building a civilization. But Bursa was only the beginning. From 1329 to 1337, Orhan pushed further. Nicaea, now Iznik, fell in 1331, a historic Christian stronghold. Then, Nicomedia, modern-day Izmit, followed in 1337. These weren't border raids. They were strategic sieges, months in the making. And the forces he led? A blend, Kai warriors, allied Turkic tribes, and Christian defectors like Kursa Mihal. Orhan was flexible, diplomatic. He used mobility, trust, and tactics to outthink stronger foes. And here, we see his true genius, not just in war, but in military innovation. He created a standing army, the yaya, infantry, the müsellem, mounted troops, paid, trained, disciplined, not tribal, but institutional. This army laid the foundation for the future Janissary Corps. He even strengthened the navy, seizing coastal towns and building ships to contest Byzantine dominance at sea. As historian Halil Inalcik writes, Orhan's reforms weren't flashy, they were foundational. But empire isn't built on war alone. Orhan established a formal administration. He appointed qadis, Islamic judges, to administer law. He introduced the taimar system, land for service, creating an early feudal structure that would endure for centuries. He minted coins, bearing his own name and title, a bold act of sovereignty. And archaeology in Bursa confirms it all. Inscriptions, structures, tombs. He governed with Islamic justice, but extended protection to Christians and Jews, ensuring loyalty through fairness. Orhan wasn't just a conqueror, he was a diplomat. He forged alliances with neighboring beyliks like Germian through marriage and treaty. His most famous marriage? Theodora, daughter of Byzantine Emperor John VI Kantakouzenos in 1346, a political masterstroke. It secured peace with Constantinople and gave the Ottomans legitimacy in Byzantine eyes. He also supported Sufi orders like the Bektashi, whose spiritual influence united warriors with mystic fire. He didn't just rule. He wove alliances, political, spiritual, and tribal, but it wasn't all smooth. Orhan faced Byzantine counterattacks, rival beyliks like Karaman, and internal threats. The 1340s were turbulent. The Byzantines, desperate to reclaim ground, launched assaults. One Ottoman legend tells of Orhan defending Bursa against a combined Byzantine beylik force. We don't know how true that is, but we know this. His grip on Bursa, Nicaea, Nicomedia, it changed everything. It made Constantinople afraid and drew more warriors to Orhan's banner. By the time he died in 1362, Orhan Bey had built an empire in waiting. He had tripled Ottoman territory, stretching across Bithynia to the Marmara coast. His capital, Bursa, rivaled older cities like Konya in culture and commerce. He had built the systems, the army, the land system, the courts, and governed with justice, strategy, and vision. His tomb in Bursa, next to his father's in Söğüt, became a shrine of Ottoman continuity. But, like all great men, his story became legend, and legend became myth. Modern dramas, like Diriliş Ertuğrul, portray Orhan as a youthful warrior, fighting battles alongside his father, facing Templars. But history, it tells a different tale. The Templars were gone by Orhan's time, and Orhan wasn't just a fighter, he was a founder of institutions, a realist, a statesman. In our next episode, we'll follow his son, Murad I, as he expands into Europe and creates the Janissary Corps, marking the Ottomans' rise as a true world power. Thank you for joining us on the Empire's Legacy, as we uncovered the true story of Orhan I, the builder of the Ottoman state. What inspired you most? The conquest of Bursa, his vision of inclusion and governance, or his diplomatic genius? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and ring the bell to continue exploring the Ottoman Empire with us. We're just getting started. And the legacy of the Kaya tribe? It's far from over. Until next time, keep questioning, Keep exploring, and may Orhan's legacy live on in all who seek truth. Farewell.